Can you name the richest person in the world? Odds are you'll name Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett. You wouldn't be wrong, according to traditional sources. The Forbes billionaire list is the go-to for tracking the world's richest people. But what if the list wasn't entirely accurate, meaning some people with huge fortunes don't appear on it? Dark wealth hides many of the richest people in the world. Some rich people want to fly under the radar. Money attracts attention, and they'd rather live in peace. Others earn secret fortunes in less savory ways. Drug lords, for example, won't show up on the Forbes list. Neither will gangsters or dictators. The fact is there's a lot of dark wealth out there. Some estimates put Putin's net worth around $200 billion. Still, we don't see him discussed alongside Bezos or Buffett because his wealth is tied up in obscure banks and investments all over the world. The same goes for many other people. These individuals and families control a vast swath of dark wealth. These are the real richest people in the world. 6. Hosni Mubarak, $70 billion. The Arab Spring claimed another victim in Hosni Mubarak, who was overthrown after serving as Egypt's fourth president from 1981 until 2011. Prior to his career in politics, he was an officer in Egypt's Air Force. Now, at the age of 89, he's living off of the roughly $70 billion he scraped together during his reign. Interestingly enough, an Egyptian prosecutor wrote American media outlets in 2011, claiming the Mubarak family had way more money and assets than anyone realized. The total figure, according to the prosecutor? Upward of $700 billion. How much money are we talking about? Nobody knows for sure. Estimates of the Mubarak family's wealth go as high as $70 billion, more than Microsoft founder Bill Gates is worth. The breakdown, according to ABC News, includes $17 billion for Mubarak, $10 billion for his second son, Gamal, and $40 billion for the rest of the family. Watch a Bloomberg report about Mubarak's great wealth. Where's the loot? Some of it's tied up in real estate. Mubarak and his sons own property, not only in Egypt but also London, Los Angeles, and New York, according to reports cited in the Washington Post. In London, Gamal Mubarak, 47, owns a house in a neighborhood where homes sell for as much as $20 million. As for the rest of the fortune, the family reportedly has billions stashed in foreign banks and offshore accounts. How did Mubarak get so rich? He didn't do it by squirreling away his salary. As president, Mubarak made just $808 per month in 2007 and 2008, according to a Cairo think tank. Mubarak reportedly made his first million through military contracts during his earlier career as an Air Force officer. Later his sons allegedly took huge cuts from businesses investing in Egypt, giving favored entrepreneurs virtual monopolies in return, according to the Sunday Telegraph. Other possible sources of wealth: government corruption and the sale of state companies and land. 5. Bashar al-Assad, $122 billion. The Assad family's estimated net worth varies wildly. But we'll go with the top-level estimate. Most of us are familiar with Bashar al-Assad as we have followed the ongoing crisis and disaster in Syria. Assad is another long-sitting Middle Eastern dictator who has more or less used his country as a personal piggy bank. While official estimates put his wealth at a fairly reasonable amount, around $1.5 billion, typically, others suspect he has way more than that. Like Mubarak, it's theorized that Assad's fortunes are hidden all over and add up to more than $120 billion. Bashar al-Assad has a net worth of $1.5 billion personally, but that's just an estimate of his easily cashed-out wealth. Reports have surfaced that claim during peacetime. Al-Assad and his close circle of family and friends have a combined net worth equal to 3/4 of the entire economy of Syria. They have interests in real estate, factories, energy plants, and licenses to sell foreign goods. None of those are easy to liquidate when there is a need for fast cash or a quick getaway, however. Al-Assad's assets are buried in a plethora of companies and trusts set up specifically to disguise assets and wealth belonging to the Syrian regime. The UK has frozen millions of the dictator's assets, but that doesn't even make a dent in al-Assad's accounts. Over the past 14 months, British officials have frozen more than $124 million of the regime's assets. Likewise, Swiss authorities have frozen 50 meters Swiss francs, $49.6 million, that belong to him and his top officials over the past several months. The government of Switzerland has targeted roughly 127 Syrian officials and 40 companies with ties to al-Assad's regime. Brussels has also been on a mission to freeze the assets of 129 people and 49 companies with ties to the Syrian regime. They just have to find them first. When you total up the wealth of Bashar al-Assad and his extended family, it is staggering. The al-Assad regime's wealth is somewhere in the neighborhood of $122 billion when you add up their real estate holdings, oil, art, and cash. 4. Muammar Gaddafi, $200 billion. Before being overthrown and killed, Muammar Gaddafi was reportedly one of the world's richest men ever. Before he was killed and dragged through the streets, Muammar Gaddafi was the leader of Libya. And, like so many others on our list, he was overthrown during the Arab Spring in 2011. But Gaddafi is different in that he reportedly had an unbelievable amount of wealth, tallying up to as much as $200 billion. When you're in charge for an entire generation, you evidently can make a lot of money. That's what Gaddafi did, hiding his wealth in secret bank accounts, real estate, and corporate investments around the world. When the assets of former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi and his kin were frozen in March 2011, some of the numbers that came out were astonishing. The US had seized $30 billion of the family's investments. Canada had frozen $2.4 billion, Austria had frozen $1.7 billion, and the UK had frozen $1 billion. It was reported that these figures were nowhere close to the actuals. Over his 42-year reign, Gaddafi was said to have amassed $75 to $80 billion. If this information is accurate, this would have made him one of the wealthiest people on the planet. His personal control over Libya's vast oil fields is believed to be the primary contributor to his wealth. It's possible that Gaddafi was worth as much as $200 billion at the time of his death. This would have made him the richest person on the planet by a long shot. 3. Vladimir Putin, $200 billion. Unofficially, Vladimir Putin is the richest man in the world with more than twice as much money as Bill Gates. Again, though, that's unofficial. Donald Trump may be rich, but his wealth pales in comparison to a man he seems to admire very much, Vladimir Putin. The president of Russia has served as both president and prime minister since 1999. Over that period of time, Putin and other Russian oligarchs have been at work pilfering billions from their country and stashing it all over the world. Recent testimony from financier Bill Browder estimated his net worth at $200 billion. That would make him the richest man in the world. Putin's net worth is estimated to be $200 billion, according to former Hermitage Capital Management CEO Bill Browder, who testified to the Senate Judiciary Committee last week, according to prepared remarks obtained by The Atlantic. Browder says Putin's wealth is a result of nefarious practices. There are approximately 10,000 officials in Russia working for Putin who are given instructions to kill, torture, kidnap, extort money from people, and seize their property, continues Browder. 2. Rothschilds, $350 billion to $2 trillion. Some members of the Rothschild family appear on the Forbes list. But combined, the family's wealth amounts to an estimated $2 trillion. You've likely heard of the Rothschilds. And though there are a few members of the family who make an appearance on the world's richest lists, we're including the family on this list because, well, the amount of money it has is a bit understated. The family fortune is divided up a number of ways, but when you add it all up you get a number that is estimated to be in the trillions by some. But it's probably more in the neighborhood of $400 billion. They made their fortune with the practice of having several brothers of a firm put up branches in different financial centers, which, by the way, was soon followed by other Jewish financiers with the likes of Bischofsheims, Perers, Seligmans, Lazards among others, and by their integrity and financial skill obtained credit with the banking fraternity at large. Some state that Rothschild's net worth stands at $350 billion, others $2 trillion, and even some $5 trillion. The Rothschild family business brought about international high finance during the industrialization of Europe, supporting railway systems across the world, and in complex government. The Rothschild family was given the status of the aristocracy during the Holy Empire and the United Kingdom. Another strategy for success that they used was to keep control of their banks in family hands, allowing them to maintain full secrecy concerning their wealth and fortunes. It is said that they are the ones who control global capital. Through their royal, aristocratic, business, and marriage connections, the Rothschild family have acquired such an enormous amount of money. 1. The House of Saud, $1.4 trillion. They don't call it Saudi Arabia for anything. With a total fortune of an estimated $1.4 trillion, the House of Saud controls a staggering amount of wealth. As Saudi Arabia's royal family, the family has built most of its wealth through the extraction of oil, which has also helped the country gain considerable political influence and sway on the international stage. Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, the current king of Saudi Arabia, is worth more than $1 billion all on his own. But like many others on our list, the family's wealth is spread far, wide, and away from prying eyes. The Saudi royal family is the ruling family of Saudi Arabia's kingdom and is worth over $1 trillion, making them the wealthiest royal family on earth. The first Saudi state was established by the Grand Patriarch of the House of Saud in the year 1687. His name was Muhammad ibn Saud, and he was the ruler of Diriyah, known as Saudi Arabia today. His kingdom flourished under the spiritual guidance of Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, the founder of a radical style of Islam known as Wahhabism today. The House of Saud consists of a whopping 15,000 members, and these members collectively share the family fortune, although only about 2,000 of them make up the ruling elites of the family. The government of Saudi Arabia owns a staggering 98.2% of the country's largest oil company, Saudi Aramco. The oil giant controls the vast amount of oil reserves found in the Arabian Peninsula and is currently valued at $2 trillion, making it the most valuable company in the world. It is the main source of income for the House of Saud. The members of the House of Saud royal family live a very luxurious lifestyle. Leading the pack is the Crown Prince, who once splashed $500 million on a yacht, $300 million on a French chateau, and $450 million on a Leonardo da Vinci painting. In an interview on his lavish spending habits on an American TV show, he replied, "As far as my private expenses, I'm a rich person and not a poor person. I'm not Gandhi or Nelson Mandela. I'm a member of the ruling family that existed for hundreds of years before the founding of Saudi Arabia." We hope you enjoyed this informative video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more great videos like this one. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.